I would like to focus this morning's shiur on a halacha that's relevant, particular to today, in a setup like this year, that like Baomer is Sunday, and we're holding now the Erev Shabbos that's before like Baomer. The Shaila, the Machloikis and the Rishonim, if one could take a haircut today, which is only Lamed Aleph Baomer during the Sfira, on a regular day, Lamed Aleph Baomer, no matter what half you're holding, if you're holding the first half or if you're holding the second half, you're definitely in middle Sfira. And one of the chelik of Avelis of Sfira is not to take haircuts. However, being that it's Erev Shabbos, it may be different. But before going into the halacha that's relevant, particular to today, let's spend a moment or two understanding up until when the Avelis goes on a regular year. Meaning to say, to bring it out, if a person holds the first half and you go kind of till Lag Baomer, when exactly does the Avelis end? So there's a few shittas about it. Shittas HaMachaber. The Machaber and Tov Tzad Gimel, there are two simonim in Hilchas Sfiras Omer. One is Hilchas Sfiras Omer about the counting, if it's the Reise, the Rabbanan, you forget all the halachas. In Siman Tov Tzad Gimel is Dinam HaNoyegim B'mei Omer. The halachas that you have to know during Sfiras Omer, you don't make chasanas. So the Shulchan Aruch in Siman Siv Beis, Dr. Machaber, Noyegim Shalei L'Staper, Ad Lamed Gimel Ba'omer Sha'im Sha'az Paska B'lamas. You don't take haircuts till Lamed Gimel, but says the Machaber, the Svardim Ve'ein L'Staper, Ad Yoim Lamed Daled Ba'boiker. Not that you could on Lag Baomer, but actually the next day, a year like this year, the Lag Baomer is Sunday, not till Monday. Lamed Daled Ba'boiker. Why Lamed Daled Ba'boiker? So Shitas HaMachaber goes that the Talmidei Rabbi Akiva died for 34 days, up until Lamed Daled Baomer. So we hold 34 days of Avelis up until Lamed Daled, really the whole day. But Miktas HaYom Kekulai, so therefore you're holding already by night, and in the morning it's enough. Miktas HaYom Kekulai. So Shitas HaMachaber is, you hold out, if you're keeping the Avelis of the Sevira, the first half, you go up until Lamed Daled, the day after Lag Baomer. And even though the Avelis was for 34 days, so l'chayri you should have to wait till after Lamed Daled. Miktas HaYom Kekulai. So if you keep by night, Matzoi Lag Baomer, the next morning already, you could stop the Avelis, you could take a haircut. That's Shitas HaMachaber. Shitas HaRamah. The Ramah argues and says, Hagah, Ubemedinois Elu Ein Noyegin Kedvarav, we're not Noyeg, Anu B'nei Ashkenaz, we're not Noyeg like the Machaber to wait up until Lamed Daled this year till Monday. Ella Mistaprim B'yoim Lamed Gimel, a day earlier. This also explains the Mishnah Brura that when a Lamed Gimel, so the Mishnah Brura says it's the same like the Machaber that says Lamed Daled in the morning. Shitas HaRamah is Lamed Gimel in the morning. Why? Which is interesting. The Machloikis Machaber Ramah is kind of a Machloikis and Metzias. Up until when did they die? Shitas HaMachaber is that Talmidei Rabbi Akiva died for 34 days. So therefore, day number 34, Miktas HaYom Kekulai, you stop Lamed Daled in the morning. Shitas HaRamah is that they died for 33 days. And Memela told Lamed Gimel in the morning, Miktas HaYom Kekulai. So the Machlekes Machaber Ramah is when you could start taking haircuts after the Sfira. Is it Yom Lamed Daled in the morning or Yom Lamed Gimel in the morning? This year, could you take a haircut Monday morning or already Sunday morning? So far, not what to talk about Friday, because not even Matzah Shabbos. It's just a Machlekes if Sunday morning or Monday morning. So far we haven't come across yet to be able to take a haircut to shave today Erev Shabbos, that's Lamed Aleph. You have to wait till Lamed Gimel in the morning. There's yet a third Shita. Shitas Achroinim, that the Mishnah Berurah brings, the Achroinim hold that you could already take a haircut Leil Lamed Gimel, like Baomer by night. The Shulchan Aruch Harav, the Baal HaTanya, explains this Shita, that the reason why you could take already a haircut Leil Lag Baomer is because they hold that already Pasku Balamis a day earlier. A day earlier. Which means, very interesting, these are three-way machlokes kind of a metzias. The Machaber says that Talmidei Rabbi Akiva stopped dying after Lamed Gimel, after Lamed Dalet. The Ramah holds that they stopped dying after Lamed Gimel, and yet the Achronim say it's earlier. By Lamed Gimel already they stopped, and Memela you could take a haircut already Leil Lamed Gimel, which would mean this year Matzah Shabbos, like Baomer by night already, it's mutter.
That's the reason that would have thought to say the Hula on the base.
Very good. I didn't think of the question before, but while I was saying it, I was also thinking about the question. It's a good question. If you hold that Lefira Achroinim, it's yet a day earlier, so then why don't you say on Lamed Beis, Mixes Hayom Kekulai? Let me just see if the Shulchan Aruch Harav points out. Lamaisi, he doesn't say here. I'm looking over here. Shalafi devreim ein noyegim avelis elo lamed beis yoim. But Lamaisa, you could be noyeg avelis lamed beis yoim, and you could do mixes hayom kekulai. It's a fine ha'ara taka. Loita achroinim. Why only from by night? L'chayri should be able to do Lamed Beis in the day also, from the morning. It's a good aura. Let's for a moment, we're going to get to this year in a minute, but just this year talking about Shabbos.
Any year.
Yeah.
It's not the Yom, it's already Lila, it's already part of the Lamed Gimel, or Lamed Dalet. We're holding the Machaber.
The Fida Machaber that they died, even Lamed Dalet. So Lamed Dalet B'etzim is a day of Avelis, full day. But Lamaisa Miktzah Yom Kekulai. Merama, Lamed Gimel is a full day of Avelis, Miktzah Yom Kekulai.
Only like 1 hour, part of an hour is also Miktzah Yom. They don't have to go to Hetzi Yom to wait to Boker.
Saying a different reason why maybe you can say that at night. You're able to shave. It's already a...
So Lamaisa, I hear what you're saying. Let's first go into the explanation of the Achroinim, and we'll see if it's Meyushev. But Hamiyu, I don't know in Hilchas Avelis, the Mixes Hayom, maybe we'll see in Masechtas Mayit Katan, there's the chelik of that also. But L'cha'ira and the Achroinim, more than L'cha'ira, I think it's pretty clear that Lefi them, right away at night you could. There's no Mixes Hayom, you don't have to wait even B'chlal.
By the time you sat down, it's even a few minutes or the tzatza.
Could you take a haircut Leil Lag Baomer right away? If you know exactly, let's say that you know exactly when Lag Baomer comes, it's not being a shmas or shaila, you have to wait? You don't have to wait. Right away Lag Baomer, you could take a haircut. Lamaisa the Achroinim.
Lila and Yom are the only vehicle of Chetzi Yom. It's an owner. It's not part of the hour. It's also considered Mitzvah.
Right.
Right. That would make it what he's asking about why not during the daytime.
Yeah, it's a good shaila. Yeah, it's a good aura. The Be'er Heitif explains what's pshat in the Achroinim. What's pshat? We said that they hold it early, but where do you see that it plays out lamaisa? So the Be'er Heitif says that it's a mitla tali in another halacha. It's tali in the halacha if you say tachnun on Erev Lag Baomer. It's questionable. There's a shaila in the poskim if you say tachnun. So the Be'er Heitif says like this: if you don't say tachnun, if you do not say tachnun on Erev Lag Baomer, means already that Leil Lag Baomer is a Yom Tif. So why is it a Yom Tov? Means the whole Lag Baomer is a Yom Tov starting by night, and therefore the Avelis ends already before the night. As opposed to the Shitas HaRamah, that's Yotzei Ashkenaz, that the minig is that they do say Tachnun on Erev Lag Baomer. Why did they say Tachnun on Erev Lag Baomer? They say Tachnun on Erev Lag Baomer because Leil Lag Baomer is not a Yom Tov only by day. Like how the Ramah holds that Be'etzim Talmidei Rabbi Akiva were dying on Lag Baomer also. By day starts the Yom Tov, mixes a Yom Kikula, we stopped the Avelis, and Mamela. One of the reasons why it's a Yom Simcha, one of the few reasons, many reasons, is because Posku Malamas. So even though they died the whole Lag Baomer, but mixes a Yom Kikula, and Mamela we celebrate from the morning already. So very clear. Shitas Haramah that holds that Posku Malamas, they stopped dying on the whole Lag Baomer when they were still dying. So Mamela, the Yom Tov only starts in the morning. You do not say Tachnun the Mincha. You say Tachnun the Mincha before. Masha'enkein the Achroinim hold that by night also it's a Yom Tov. You don't say Tachnun already the Mincha before. And Mamela, you can take a haircut Leil Lag Baomer. Every Erev Shabbos, today, by Mincha, you don't say Tachnun. Erev Yom Tov, you don't say Tachnun. Why is it like that? Because the Yom Tov, the Shabbos starts already tonight. And that was actually the question, which maybe it's more likely to say Tachnun on Erev Pesach Katan that we just had. It's also a Shaila that goes into that Shaila if the night is already a Yom Tov. Pashtas Pesach Katan, Pesach Sheni, is only by day. The day was the day of the Avodas HaKarban. L'maisa, this halacha of taking a haircut Leil Lag Baomer, which we saw the third shita, it's a shayla in the Achroinim. The Sha'ar Tziyim brings, he's mistapik if he could be saimach on them la'alacha. So just to conclude so far, that we're going to go on la'alacha l'maisa b'negeiah today. But we'll see the hemshech of the next few minutes. It was very negeiv to go through clearly the three shitas. There are three shitas every single year. When is it mutter to take a haircut? Shitas hamachaber, the svardim, from lamed dalet in the morning. That's when it's mutter to take a haircut. Shitas haramah, lag baomer in the morning. Shitas ha'achroinim, already from lamed gimel, at night. A year like this year, is it Monday morning, Sunday morning, or Matzah Shabbos? Agav, these are shitas are Rizal that the Shari Tshuva brings not to take a haircut at all throughout the whole Svira. I'm saying it Agav, not because it's an Agav Diga Halacha, it's just not the focus of today's Shiur. I'm bringing it in because we're saying these three shitas when you could start taking a haircut. There's yet a fourth shita that not to take Bechlal throughout Svira. Some say maybe with one exception of Lag Baomer. After this whole discussion, so what happened over here with taking a haircut today? Today is not Lamed Daled, it's not Lamed Gimel, and it's also not Lamed Gimel at night. So why could you take a haircut? So the Ramah, and that's how we paskin, but the Ramah says that you could take a haircut today. L'kavat Shabbos, we'll expand on it. You could take a haircut. In the old Shulchan Aruchs, what the Ramah, what's the makor for this shitas Ramah? In the old Shulchan Aruchs, you'll see it says in the parentheses the Maril. The Maril, the makor is the Maril from the Rishonim, a Minhagim Sefer from the Rishonim, that says you could take a haircut Erev Shabbos. However, says the Yosef Oimitz, he was a dayan in Frankfurt in the 1500s. He says it's a mistake. We could all look it up for ourselves. If you take a look in the Maril says the exact opposite. The Maril says, he says for himself, he didn't take haircuts b'chlal the whole svira. But then he noyeg la'atzmai. But then says the Maril that you can't take a haircut in a year like this year. You cannot take a haircut Erev Shabbos. So you can't quote the Ramah, the Makar of the Ramah couldn't have been the Maril if the Maril is the one who says the exact opposite, befeirish, that you can't. That'll depend if you go with the Ramah, the Machaber.
The Maril, that he says you can't take Erev Shabbos. He holds you could take on Sunday, the day after Shabbos.
Oh, very good. Beautiful what you're bringing up about covet or it's a zil. So you're right, it's a good, let's see if we'll even be able to answer that question. But that's the meduber, the explanation in the machloikis, or at least the shita of the heter. So the Maril says, the gam imchal lag ba'oiber b'yoyim aleph, a year like this year, loy lahater legaleach be'erev Shabbos delefanav. We'll get into, he brings a raya, we'll get into that in a moment. So it's not the Maril. If you look now in the New Shulchan Aruch, the parentheses, it says Mari Vail, also from the Rishonim, but Talmud of the Maril, the Mari Vail says it's mutter. Another from the Rishonim is the Leket Yosha. The Leket Yosha also spells out clearly that you cannot. I couldn't find a sefer than Rival. I didn't see it inside. The Leket Yosha also says, from the Rishonim, also says that you cannot take. So it's to my Rival. What's the reason to Aser? Avada, we saw the Ramah says that it's mutter l'kavet Shabbos. The Maril says, I have a riot that it's Aser to take a haircut today, Erev Shabbos, when like Baomer is Sunday. He says, B'doy mita'avelis. Oval, let's say his shloishim ends on Sunday. If his shloishim ends on Sunday, he's not allowed to take a haircut Erev Shabbos. If his shloishim ends on Shabbos, then he can take a haircut Erev Shabbos. But if his shloishim ends on Sunday, he cannot. The Mela says the Maril, the same thing over here is also the Avelis of Klal Yisrael, of the Svira ends on Sunday. So Mamela, if he says, if Lag Baomer would be on Shabbos, then you could take Friday. But if Lag Baomer is on Sunday, a year like this year, then you cannot. Agav, the Kafachayim asks, he doesn't understand what the Maril says. If Lag Baomer would be on Shabbos, then you could take a haircut Friday. So the Kafachayim says, I don't understand the Maril, it never happens. Lag Baomer never happens on Shabbos. Yeah, we don't remember ever that Miran is a nitcha, muktim. It never happens. He's always, Lag Baomer is never on Shabbos. It always, the fire, the music, it happens, it never falls on Shabbos. So Mamela what? It's Frekta Kafachayim. What is the Maril from the Rishonim saying that if Lag Baomer falls on Shabbos, then it's only one day early you could? But not to fully be Meyasher, but we mentioned briefly a few minutes ago that the Shitas HaMachaber is that you could only start Lamed Dalet. So this din that the Maril says that if Lag Baomer would be on Shabbos, then you could do a day early, like for the Machaber, it's Negeya. I'm not answering fully what he says that if Lag Baomer falls on Shabbos, but the din of the Maril is Negeya. Lafi the Machaber, that you could only start on Lamed Daled, Lag Baomer could fall on a Friday. So Lafi the Machaber, that you have to wait till Lamed Daled, if Lag Baomer is on a Friday, you could take a haircut a day earlier for the Lafi the Machaber. Not Negeya this year, but just to point out, the Maril that says that this year you cannot take a haircut on Friday because it's 2 days early. For the Svardim, the Machaber, it's relevant when Lag Baomer is on a Friday, it's only 1 day early. Let's move now to the Tzad HaHeter. That's Taka LaHalacha, but let's understand. What's Taka the Pshat and the Shita of the Mari Vail that says that it's mutter? So Rav Moshe Feinstein in a Tshuva explains, he speaks about a Shaila that we're going to get to, hopefully there'll be time, not today, not Negeya to today, but Negeya to a year like this year, hopefully Beis Hashem will get to it. But then he goes through and he says, in the Svira there are 3 exceptions that you can take a haircut earlier, not later, earlier. We're not going to go through all the cases right now, but we'll get to it a little later, hopefully. But when he speaks about one of the paragraphs, he speaks about a year like this year, and he says it's mutter. The Ramah says it's mutter and it's mutter, but he explains what's the pshat in the heter of Kavod Shabbos. So one could understand Kavod Shabbos it's Kavod Shabbos. The heter of Kavod Shabbos, like Tisha B'Av, that falls out on Thursday, these halachas that are mutter right away Thursday night, that's Kavod Shabbos. When it's Sunday, different things these Kavod Shabbos, you're taking a shower Friday, Kavod Shabbos. So you can understand, Pashat Kavod Shabbos, to take a haircut today, it's Kavod Shabbos. But the way Rabbi Moshe explains, it's more than that. If you take a haircut Sunday, you're going to take a haircut Sunday the way it says, Dr. Rabbi Moshe, Shemestarprim l'chvoid lag ba'omer de nechshav yomtiv. You're taking a haircut Sunday in honor of Lag Baomer, in honor of the Yom Tov. That's a zilzal of Shabbos, that for Shabbos you're not taking your haircut. Lag Baomer you are. What's the zilzal? That Lag Baomer is bigger than Shabbos. So when the Ramah says it's mutter mepnei Kavod Shabbos, what's the vart mepnei Kavod Shabbos? Because if you're going to take Sunday over Friday, you're being mezalzel in Shabbos. A lot starker than just certain things that are mutter, matzoi, Tisha B'Av, Kavod Shabbos. Here, if you're not going to do it, it's a zilzal on Shabbos. So if I may explain and be miyashiv what the Maril we brought earlier from the Maril. The Maril says that by Avelis, a mafurish din, that you're not allowed an oval that is Avelis ends on Sunday, you're not allowed to take a haircut Friday. So Mimela says the Maril, the same thing as you're not allowed to take a haircut today, Erev Shabbos Lamed Aleph Baomer. L'fi what Ramosha explains, here it's different. Oval, whenever Zavelis ends, so that's he's taking if it ends Sunday, he takes a haircut Sunday, not because Sunday's a bigger day. He has to wait till the end of the Avelis, and the Avelis ends on Sunday, he takes on Sunday. There's no zilzal on Shabbos. If you learn it's just Kavod Shabbos, so if there's no, you don't have, Kavod Shabbos doesn't way over to do it earlier, it wouldn't by Lag Baomer. But the way Ramosha explains that if you're going to do it Sunday, it's a zilzal on Shabbos because Lag Baomer seems to be more important, more something to celebrate more than Shabbos. So Memela, even if an oval cannot take a haircut Friday earlier than Sunday, Lag Baomer, he could. It shouldn't be a zilzal Shabbos. The Marivile brings a raya that it's mutter today. He says, Rechitza, what the Maril said before, that you're now oval is now allowed to take a haircut Friday from Sunday to pull it back to Friday, and the Mele who had in Lag Baomer, the Marivile says there's another halach in Hilchas Avelis. I guess it's somewhat connected to Masechtas Moed Katan that we're learning. The Marivile says that the halacha is that Lagabi Rechitza, oval is allowed to be roichetz. Rechitza's mutter, when his Avelis ends on Sunday, he's allowed to be roichetz already Friday. Why? Haircut not. What's the difference between a haircut and Rechitza? Zokta Marivile, Rechitza, taking a shower, the isser for Avelis of a shower is Einoi Alaminik. That's why it's mutter. So Melu Mekel, Kavod Shabbos. Zokta Marivile, the isser to take a haircut during the sphere is only a minik. It's a minik, 100% a minik, but it's a minik. So Mamela, you could be mekel to take a haircut already today, Erev Shabbos, even though it's only Lamed Aleph Baomer. It is a machlokes rishonim, like we just said. The Maril says that it's aser. So the Lavush, a Talmud of the Ramah, was speaking a lot about the Shitas HaRamah. It's important to mention that Sunday, besides it's the yahrzeit of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, it's also the yahrzeit of the Ramah. And for many doiris, people from Europe used to travel to Krakow, to Ramah's cave on the yard site. The Ramah says that it's mutter, and he paskins like the Marival, not like the Maril. The Levush, a Talmud of the Ramah, the Levush says it's a machlokes. He wants to say that even the Maril might be moida, that you could, for a different reason. In other words, that's Kavod Shabbos, you see, the Maril says, you see a oval, it's aser, so you don't have the heter. But the Levush says a different heter. The Levush says that, you know why you're allowed to take a haircut on Erev Shabbos? Being that Sunday is a chag for the goyim, and everything's closed, so the barbers are closed Sunday, so maybe you could take a haircut Friday. A different reason. Nothing. Now it's Kavod Shabbos. If it would be it's Kavod Shabbos, we saw the Maril says, I'm showing you by Avelis that it's not a heter. Says the Levush, I have a different reason. The Levush says, you know why you can take a haircut today? Because Sunday the barbers are closed. You're asking, wait till Monday. Wait till Monday. There's a din dafka to take on Lag Baomer. We saw from Mosey that when you take on it's the chvoid Lag Baomer. But so wait till Monday. Wait till Monday. Lamaisa, the Chaim points out very stark that Hamiu says the Chaim on this din. If let's say the barbers are open, you don't have the heter. Lamaisa, and then we'll try to go into a few prate dinim. Lamaisa lahalacha, that's clear avad it's mutter. So it's mutter today to take a haircut, to shave the Kavod Shabbos. Even though the El Yerabah says yesh lahachmer, lamaisa the Ramah, the Shulchan Aruch, the Ramah paskins that it's mutter, it's mutter. Lahalacha, it's mutter. When does the heter start? I got the question yesterday, could one shave already last night? So in the Gillian they bring from Chaim Kanevsky, they asked him, the shaila is a mutter already from this morning, or you have to wait till after Chatzos, closer to Shabbos, that it should be more of a Kavod Shabbos? And Reb Chaim Kanevsky said it's mutter already from this morning. Mi'idach, they bring Rabbi Shlomo Zalman, that seems to say that it's l'tchatchila rather to do it this afternoon after Chatzos. I haven't found anybody that says that you could have done it last night. The shaila is today, this morning, this afternoon. Just to point out, this is a Hilchos Shabbos did, that there might even be a Maila brought in Siman Reish Nun Aleph, the Shari Tshuva, the Shiur brings from the Arizal, not to take a haircut Friday afternoon. So maybe God is even a Maila if a person's taking a haircut, maybe even on any Erev Shabbos. But Al Kapanim, from today it's mutter. This is all Lafi de Ramah. What does it mean, Lafi de Ramah? The Ramah says that it's mutter, but it's Lafi de Ramah, like we said at the beginning of the Shiur, that the heter is a heter, Lafi de Ramah, it's a heter, a regular year, it's Sunday. So maybe we pull it back to Friday, but the Machaber, this year, Lafi de Machaber, when could you start taking haircuts? Monday. So is there a heter? Pashas is no heter. This also they bring the Aster Chaim Kanevsky, he said, Mestaber Shaloi. I wasn't mavar what takala ma'aser minig is by the Svardim, but a pashtus, if Lag Baomer is on, if the heter to start, when do you start taking haircuts is Monday, so what is Kavod Shabbos from Monday to Friday? Another nakuda, somebody over here asked yesterday, if somebody takes a haircut today, it's more relevant to shaving, could you actually shave again on Lag Baomer? Meaning, let's say you hold the second half. So if you hold the second half, you could take a haircut and shave on Lag Baomer. So could you shave today and then again Sunday? So in Halicha Shloimer, Rav Shlomo Zalman addresses this, and he says that and what's the shaila? What's the tzadnat? Because Lamaisa, maybe if you're taking a haircut today, We said you have to have 34 days, 33 days, a certain amount of days. So, okay, you're allowed to take a haircut today and play Kavod Shabbos, but then you should have to make it up on Sunday. So Torah says, no, you could do both. I did see they brought a Minhagei Evan Yisrael for Yisrael Yaakov Fisher that he actually says no. That if you take a haircut and shave today, not to do it Sunday. Shlomo Zalman says that it's mutter. But one thing is important to point out, that if every year you're makbid like the Ramah, on a regular year that you only start taking a haircut and you only shave like Baomer in the morning, so even if you're going to take a haircut and shave today, and we said you're allowed to do it on Sunday as well, hamiyu not to do it Matzah Shabbos. Because Lamaisa on a regular year, Leilag Baomer, if you're makbid like the Ramah, not like the Achroinim, and Leilag Baomer, you don't take a haircut. So if you take a haircut today, Kavod Shabbos, the Ramah, and you could, like we saw from Shlomo Zalman, you could shave again Sunday, but Matzah Shabbos not to. One more pointer, and we're going to leave out the last halacha, say what it's about. One more pointer is B'nai Geya Upshar for a 3-year-old, Chalaka. We could take haircuts. What's about a child that turned 3 2 weeks ago, which if you push it off the Upshar for Lag Baomer, so on a regular year you push it off for Lag Baomer, could you give him a haircut already today? So this also, they asked Reb Chaim, this Reb Chaim Kanevsky, that was noyig. People used to bring their son to take a cut on the hair. I was zocher, I took my son, my bechor, I brought him to Reb Chaim Kanevsky, to cut. However, on a year like this year, Friday, he didn't cut the hair. And he said because the whole cutting is a minig. It's a minig to cut a child, a 3-year-old, it's a minig. And Memela, shouldn't override today, that's still the Svira. Avadim epnei Kavod Shabbos, that overrides what the Avelis of Svira, but it's the minig, that not, the minig of cutting here, not. And the same also says the Chassam Sofer Nagoyis. The Chassam Sofer says when it comes to a moil, sorry, I had to push it in. When it comes to a moil that has a bris on Sunday, so a moil that has a bris, lavdafka this Sunday, any Sunday of Svira. So a moil, the halacha is a moil, the aviaben, the sandik, the moil takes a haircut the day of the bris. You could take it a day earlier. So during Svira, could he take a haircut today for a bris that he has Sunday? I'm not talking about you could also like Baomer, but last week, Friday to Sunday, the same concept that we're talking about. So for that, says the Chassam Sofer no. And he says the reason why. He says because a bris is a yomtiv de yachid. The moil, the sandik, that you don't say tachnun, masha'enkein, and therefore it's only a yachid, you can't pull it back to Friday. Masha'enkein, taking a haircut today for all of Klal Yisrael, that we have Shabbos, that's covered v'oinik Shabbos for all of Klal Yisrael, it's mutter. Mamish, and I'm sorry that it's overtime, but just to speak what the Nekuda is noigeya to this coming end of the Svira, a year like this year. I don't know if there's a whole shiur, so I don't know if I'm going to speak about it, just to bring out the pointer. Usually, when you keep the second half of Svira, it's up until Shloisha Simei Agbala, which means the last 3 days before Shavuos, that's where the Svira goes till. Fine. Which the Etzem would come out to this year, Shavuos is Wednesday, Thursday. So when could you start taking haircuts, Rabbi say? Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So the shaila is, could you already take a haircut Friday? The same shaila like we have over here, to take today for Lag Baomer, could you take Friday for after Shabbos? So first of all, Friday happens to be as Rosh Chodesh, so you're looking at me Rabbi Yehuda Chassid. So the emes is that could be here it's different. If you weren't able to do earlier, could be even like Rabbi Yehuda Chassid, you could still take a haircut. But he's a big shaila if you could take a haircut this Rosh Chodesh Sivan early for Sunday. The Pri Megadim says it's mutter. That Shuva of Rav Moshe Feinstein, that's where he comes and he says that it's aser, because he says that that's not one of the places brought that it's mutter. It's a machlokes. I just want to end off with the yesod that we set from Rav Moshe. Why it would be mutter over here, why over here you take Erev Shabbos over Matzah Shabbos because it's a zilzal in Shabbos. That would be a pshat why it's different, up and coming would be different, why over there it's aser. Moshe says that it's aser to take a haircut. For the people that hold second half, it's aser to take a haircut on Friday, Rosh Chodesh Sivan. But why? Only over here, if you're going to not take a haircut today and you're taking Sunday, you're showing the Lag Baomer is more chashav than Shabbos. But after the Svira, at the end of the Svira, if you take Sunday, there's no zilzal to take Sunday over Friday. It's just that pointing out that Lag Baomer is more chashav. But if you're taking after the Svira Sunday, that's not a zilzal. And the mail will be aser. So just to end off the Shiur, today, Erev Shabbos, Lamed Aleph Baomer, Zokter Ramah, whose yard side is this Lag Baomer Ataka, Zokter Ramah, it's mutter to take a haircut l'kavet Shabbos. Have a wonderful Shabbos.
Just to clarify, do we say